Ugh! What the bloody hell was that? Wait. The curse has been broken. So, you finally returned, have you, Mr. Two-More? Half a decade of peace and quiet, and now you return to vex me. Well then, enjoy your homecoming, Two-More, because it will not last. Whether it is I who ends you, or he who has provided me with the curse that sent your soul to Togas. I may have to enact the agreements we made all those years ago. But first, let's see you catch up on 6 years of my handiwork.
Here comes Hewy, gonna give you the news. Time to watch his animated movie reviews, where the hand-drawn CGI puppets or clay. If you've got a good story, you'll be making his day. See you at the movies, cartoon movies. See you at the movies, hold on news. See you at the movies, like nobody's business. Hey, see you at the movies, animated movies that is.
Hey everyone, I'm Hewy Toonmore. Welcome to another episode of Hewy's Anime Movie Reviews, the show where I review anime films from old to recent, whether they be hand-drawn, stop-motion, or computer-generated. First off, I wish to apologize for taking 8 months to review another movie after my return from my 6-year absence. But let's just say that after results of certain political elections last year, I kind of fell into a depression where I wanted to lie in bed for the rest of my life.
Aren't you glad I made you watch The Wild Robot on Blu-ray to snap you out of it?
Yeah, thankfully. Speaking of which, I was able to get a proper haircut and lose the 40 pounds I put on during my coma. No thanks to a certain equine camera operator.
What would you have preferred me to do? Let your body starve to death?
It was a magical coma, Kate. My body didn't need food.
Show me the rule.
Anyway, back to the subject at hand. The 1980s certainly were a golden age for toy-based cartoons, weren't they?
From He-Man to G.I. Joe, Transformers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Jem and the Holograms, and far too many more to count in this video, kids could drag their parents to the nearest toy store to buy the cast of their favorite cartoons to reenact all their favorite episodes. However, what about the more obscure toy lines that never got their own cartoon series for some reason or another? Toys that, if handled, could have been hits, but for one reason or another, never got the respect of the ones that did. Some were lucky enough to get pilots made, such as Monsters in My Pocket, Robotics, and Fluffy Dogs, but were never greenlit for a full series and released to VHS as one-shot specials. Another example, being the subject of today's review, is RoboForce, released in 1984 by the Ideal Toy Company. This obscure toy line featured robot action figures whose main gimmick was suction cup bases, crusher arm action, and extendable guns. To me, they kind of resemble the Daleks from Doctor Who, but with less lazy construction. Hell, this one kind of resembles one of the SWAT bots from Sonic Sat AM. Anyway, aside from the figures, playsets and vehicles were also made, as well as an alarm clock, bed sheets, an erector set, roller skates, and even a small remote-controlled robot that would have cost $600 at the time. Damn, talk about merch! At the same time, to help promote the toy line, Ruby Spears Productions, best known for such animated series as Dink the Little Dinosaur, Seasons 1 through 5 of Alvin and the Chipmunks, the 1988 Superman cartoon, and the 90s Mega Man cartoon, produced a half-hour one-shot animated special that served as a potential pilot for an animated series, which would air on CBS that December.
And that is what we're looking at today. So, released to television on December 8th, 1984, the special is RoboForce, The Revenge of Nazgar.
Our story begins in the year 5034 on the planet Celestia.
Insert My Little Pony joke here.
in the laboratory of Dr. Richard Fury, a preeminent robot designer and AI programmer as he works on his latest creation.
I've tried everything, but I can't seem to get you talking.
By the way, Dr. Fury is voiced by the late John Stephenson, best known as the voice of Mr. Slate on the Flintstones.
Robots don't talk, Dr. Fury. If you ever have one tell you otherwise, he's lying.
Oh, I knew I shouldn't have put that joke program in you.
Ah, the 80s, when a good swift whack would still get a machine working right.
And yes, the robot he's working on, named Coptor, is voiced by the legendary Peter Cullen, best known as the voice of Optimus Prime from Transformers. Suddenly, 4 other robots, along with 2 armed humans dressed like, I want to say Arabic ninjas, but that might cause angry responses, break down the door into the lab with Dr. Fury recognizing them.
You are 100. Agent of Nazgar. I will never help you.
We shall see. Take it.
Typical shoddy henchbot construction.
Destroy the robot.
Ooh, when he's laserproof too, nice. 100's gonna have a lot of trouble trying to knock Copter down.
Actually, it'll be super easy. Barely an inconvenience.
Shut up.
For those wondering, 100 is voiced by the late Ron Feinberg, best known as the voice of Doc Terror from the Centurions, and unfortunately, both Raiden and Goro from Mortal Kombat: The Journey Begins.
Think you'll review that movie someday, boss?
Depends.
Depends on what.
Depends on how drunk I am.
You don't drink.
Exactly.
Anyway, before Dr. Fury can make any attempt to run for safety or defend himself, his son's voice comes from upstairs and 100 quickly moves to capitalize.
What do you say now, Dr. Fury? Or should I ask your sons, Mark and Jason?
Wouldn't harm children.
Relax, Doc. This is an 80s cartoon. The villains never harm children.
Awakened by the noise, Dr. Fury's oldest son, Mark, comes downstairs to see what is happening while his baby brother Jason sleeps in his crib.
It's always messy, but never this messy.
Well, obviously, Genius skips a generation.
Just as young Mark discovers the damaged piece of the enemy robot's shoulder guard in the lab, he then spots what can only be described as a gigantic evil airship bearing 100's symbol launching nearby.
Daddy!
Mark, you're like, what, 11, 12 years old? Why are you still calling your dad Daddy? That's something you usually stop doing when you turn 7.
I believe they are trying to convey innocence.
Think it would work if Mark were 13 or 14 instead?
I don't really want to think about that.
We're then treated to the obligatory 10-year time skip and find ourselves in Celestia's capital city as the ruling council comes into session, with Councilwoman Dina Strong, voiced by B.J. Ward, best known as the voice of Scarlet from G.I. Joe, delivering a security report.
Today, Celestia's liberty faces a great threat. This threat comes from the cult of Dread, led by 100, and dedicated to the memory of the evil dictator Nazgar.
Councilwoman Strong, Nazgar is just a legend. Only fools believe in him.
Yay! He called the woman a fool and was supposed to be an advanced enlightened society! Casualty sexism, everybody!
Nazgar is no legend, Councilman Frost. Watch this.
Giant ghostly head!
Anyway, Dina explains that Nazgar started a great war and nearly conquered the planet 2,000 years prior until a squadron of Celestian soldiers destroyed his stronghold. Though his army was defeated, Nazgar's body was never found, with rumors of his brain being preserved by the Cult of Dread. To prove this, Dina presents a message crystal that was recently discovered in 100's hideout and spins it to reveal Nazgar's dying message.
Listen well, my followers. My time in this body grows short, but my brain shall live on. This message crystal is the first of 3. Assemble them, and I shall live again.
Nazgar is voiced by Arthur Burkhart, best remembered as the voice of Destro from G.I. Joe and Devastator from Transformers.
That crystal is a fake. By the power vested in me, I veto her foolish request.
Fake, that crystal's fake message, your request is stupid, you're fired.
Awfully quick to condemn, ain't he?
Yeah, Councilman Frost here, voiced by Robert Ridgely, refused to accept evidence put right in front of his big nose. Instead, he demands that Dina focus on arresting the now-grown Mark Fury, who is apparently embarrassing the council by bringing down various criminals with his team of renegade robots. Speaking of...
Those guys are tough!
So am I. Remember, I'm not a kid anymore.
Yup, little Mark Fury is all grown up and now voiced by Roger Bumpus.
Wait, Roger Bumpus? Isn't he?
Yup.
Thanks, but no thanks, Major Stupidity. You and General Nonsense over there will have to fight without me. Got them both.
Damn, Squidward, how far you have fallen.
Mark here is kicking butt and taking names with the help of his new robot, Max Steel, also voiced by Robert Ridgely, in hopes of finding information on the whereabouts of his missing father.
Max Steel? Isn't that the cyborg secret agent toy line by Mattel from the 2000s?
Not who you're thinking of, Kate. Note the spelling, which allows copyright infringement to be avoided.
I paid you for information about where my father is, and you lied to me. Now tell me where Hundred's Fortress is, or deal with him. Okay, I'll tell you.
Yeah, you don't mess with the clamps, buddy.
The clamps! Right?
Meanwhile, it is revealed that Councilman Frost is actually working for 100,
Called it.
and alerts the villainous robot of Dina's discovery. As our heroine returns home that night, she's suddenly surrounded by 100's henchbots and swiftly captured. As she is held in the Cult of Dread's base, an underwater castle of all things, Hope arrives in the form of Mark Fury and his team of bots. Max Steel, Sota, or State of the Art, voiced by Scrooge McDuck himself, Alan Young, Sentinel, also voiced by Alan Berghardt, Wrecker, whose voice actor isn't listed anywhere online, Blazer, voiced by Neil Ross, and our old pal Coptor, all riding in a sophisticated stealth sub piloted by Mark's little brother Jason, voiced by David Mendenhall.
When we get done with Hundred's robots, they're going to Celestia as trash cans.
Your jokes are getting worse, Coptor.
How was that a joke?
Yeah, they already look like trash cans anyway.
Now that's a joke.
Thank you.
Mark and his robots easily break into the fortress, but set off an alarm alerting 100 and his forces.
The humans are expendable. We must get the second crystal. Abandon the fortress.
As Max and the bots begin their assault, Mark begins to search the castle dungeon, seeking his father, but of course finds the leading lady instead.
Thanks. Who are you anyway?
Mark Fury.
I thought you would look a little tougher.
Before the Star Wars reference gets any further, Dina and Mark are jumped by 100's Lieutenant Cruel, voiced by Michael Bell, only for him to be quickly knocked out by a gas attack from Max.
Maybe you and Max Steel's robots are as tough as they say you are.
It's not toughness, it's dedication.
Dedication to what? Plunder? Loot? Power? Don't make a move.
I don't know where you got it, but you've got the wrong idea about us. We just saved your life.
Why don't we argue on the run?
Mark grabs Cruel as he and Dina make their escape. He tells her how 100 kidnapped his father when he was a kid and reveals Dr. Fury is working on a method to transfer human minds into robotic bodies. Hearing this, Dina realizes 100's plan.
That's it! 100 is going to put Nazgar's brain into a robot body your father made. Oh, I need your help, Mark.
You've got it.
Well, that was a quick turnaround.
Yeah, I was kind of expecting a Sly Cooper, Carmelita Fox sort of relationship, but I guess we are short on time.
So Mark, Dina, and the RoboForce escape on the submarine just as the underwater castle explodes. Realizing 100 needs to find all 3 memory crystals to revive Nazgar, they head back to Celestia, dropping off Jason, and interrogating the now conscious Cruel for information.
Unless you like eating fire, you'll start talking.
Okay, I'll talk.
Damn, Blazer, that is hardcore!
They learn from Cruel that 100 and his forces have located the second memory crystal in the Cliffs of the Lost. However, he's able to get away and jumps out a window.
Hey, they were all on the top floor of the building, right?
He isn't worth anything to us.
Meanwhile, 100 and his forces reach said cliffs where they encounter this lady, who apparently practices the Mongolian art of throat singing. When confronted about the second crystal, she claims not to know anything, but 100 has other ideas.
She doesn't know where it is now, but when she hears the sacred words, she will. Nazgar lives!
I will take you to the place of the crystal.
And she does just that.
My followers, you have found the second crystal. Go now to the Isle of Doom. The third crystal awaits you there.
Cliffs of the Lost? Isle of Doom? Who names these places?
Probably the same guy who named Isla Sorna and its sister islands the Five Deaths in the Jurassic Park series.
Little do 100 and his goons know, Soda's super advanced sensors manage to find them heading for the Isle of Doom, and the RoboForce follows them. The island's toxic volcanic environment is too dangerous for humans, so Max and the others have to follow 100 on their own. Unfortunately, the evil bots have no trouble finding the third and final crystal.
We now have all of the pieces.
Whoa! What the? Who the hell is this guy?
The first two crystals gave us messages from Nazgar himself, but now we're dealing with some bargain basement Skeletor dungeon master thing?
You will find the great brain at the peak of Mount Infinity.
Ah, so this must have been recorded after the Cult of Dread preserved Nazgar's brain. Wait, that still makes no sense.
Meanwhile, the RoboForce hears the message, but Blazer, ever the impetuous one, charges ahead without a second thought, leading the others right toward 100 and his forces.
The RoboForce.
Ooh, looks like we're gonna have some rock'em sock'em robot action. Well, that was kind of a letdown.
As 100 and his minions get away, the RoboForce struggle to break free, but the volcanic mud proves too much for even their afterburners to jar out from.
This stuff's sucking us down faster than we can get up.
You guys give up too easily.
I must say that was a most uncomfortable predicament.
Dang, what do you suppose the tensile strength of that line is?
With their power packs depleted, the RoboForce returns to Mark and the group retreats to their base, the Fortress of Steel, to recharge and repair. Meanwhile, 100 and his minions reach the hidden fortress on Mount Infinity, along with Mark's father, Dr. Richard Fury, who is alive and appears to be in a trance, and finally retrieve Nazgar's brain.
At last, Nazgar's brain.
Sota and Coptor manage to track the Cult of Dread down, but just as they report back, the entire mountain breaks apart, revealing Nazgar's fortress hidden inside.
He's blown his cover. Let's get in there and nail him.
Gather the robots and start the assault at 4,300 hours sharp, whether I'm back or not.
What are you going to do, Mark?
I'm going in alone to find my father. It's our only hope of getting him out alive.
Going in alone? Seriously? Look, Mark, don't get me wrong, I respect your determination and resolve to save your dad, but that's a villainous base, probably filled with weapons and traps and who knows what. And all you have is one single laser pistol.
Meanwhile, in the base's command center, the Cult of Dread, including Councilman Frost, gather to hear the commands of Nazgar and his new robot body. Good God Almighty, that is complete nightmare fuel!
I am pleased with my new body. I will wear it proudly as we crush Celestia.
Seriously, that thing looks like somebody put Krang, Darth Vader, RoboCop, Mother Brain, a Cylon, a Dark Trooper, and Megatron into a blender and hit the frappe setting! It would have honestly made for a pretty cool action figure.
Too bad they never made an action figure of Nazgar, though. Real missed opportunity there, guys.
The weapon system is fully operational. Begin targeting the beam. I will enjoy destroying Celestia.
You gotta hand it to whoever designed this place. It's 2,000 years old, and the systems are all still working like a dream.
As Dina and the RoboForce wait to begin their assault, Mark infiltrates the base and manages to save his dad.
Who are you?
Your son.
My son? My son. It has been so long.
I love moments like this.
Yeah, me too.
The reunion couldn't come a moment sooner, because the Cult of Dread begins to fire off the death ray on top of the fortress, devastating the surrounding area. Per their orders, Dean and the RoboForce charge the fortress, weapons blazing, easily reducing the Citadel's defenses to scrap. Even the awesome Robo-Pterosaurs. Cutting through the blast shields, they reunite with Mark, who orders Coptor to airlift Dr. Fury to safety, while the rest of our heroes make their final push on the control room, only to be confronted by Hundred himself.
Now, Steel, the fight we have both been waiting for.
Max is just gonna scrap in like 3 seconds, right? I mean, there are only 2 minutes left in the special and we still have Frost and Nazgar to deal with. Honestly, I would complain, but after everything Hundred and his gang have done, he didn't deserve the dignity of a drawn-out fight.
Realizing his defenses have failed, Nazgar surrounds himself with a heavy blast shield, leaving Councilman Frost to be caught.
Councilman Frost! You traitor!
You've got me wrong. I'm on your side. He's in there.
Yeesh! Did this guy take lessons from Starscream or what?
Eat fire, Nazgar! He's gone!
Let's hope never to return.
With the Cult of Dread defeated, the Fury family and their allies gather in the Forts of Steel to raise a toast to their victory. Yes, even the robots toast. With oil, of course. Even though it looks like wine to me.
What's wrong? Frost is in jail, and you are the star of the council.
I'm just worried that Nazgar and his agents aren't really gone.
Don't. If they come back, we'll really knock their blocks off.
I guess you're right. A team like this couldn't lose.
They're here!
And so that was RoboForce: The Revenge of Nazgar. A pilot for what could have been an 80s hit.
With the successful pitch of the pilot and the accompanying toy line, CBS had ordered 50 episodes in total to be made, and Ideal Toys was going to debut the figures and playsets at that year's Toy Fair, with even toy store juggernaut Toys R Us planning to order 2 million units to sell.
So the question is, what happened? Well, at the same time the RoboForce toy line was going to be released, another robotic toy line exported from Japan by Hasbro debuted at the same toy fair.
Transformers?
Transformers.
Within weeks of its initial release, Transformers had dominated its target audience, and let's face it, small trash can robots with suction cups just can't compete with robots that can transform into cars, planes, tape players, and even dinosaurs. So plans for the full cartoon series were cancelled, Toys R Us would only order 250,000 units instead of 2 million, and the RoboForce soon faded into 80s obscurity. However, it wouldn't be forever, as thankfully the toy line would be revived in 2013 by new rights holder Toyfinity, which would produce new figures up until 2021, when the rights were then sold to the Nacelle Company, founded by Brian Folks Weiss, best known as the creator of the Netflix documentary series The Toys That Made Us, who not only produced a new toy line, but also a brand new animated series reboot that aired last month on the free streaming service Tubi. And judging from the new intro, it just might succeed where its predecessor failed.
RoboForce will heed the call. RoboForce!
But as for my thoughts on the original 80s pilot, it's not bad. However, I'm not sure how it could have continued for another 49 episodes.
For something meant to kick off an entire series, it feels pretty standalone, as all the plot threads seem to have been wrapped up within a 20-minute runtime. And unless Hundred is somehow rebuilt, Frost is released from jail, and Nazgar is able to come back from whatever happened to him, I really don't see how the story could continue. The human characters are fine, but nothing really worth focusing on. I mean, Jason really doesn't do much of anything other than pilot a submarine, and then he just sits out the rest of the special. However, the true standout characters are the RoboForce themselves, as they have much more defined personalities, with Max Steel being the tough, charismatic leader, Coptor being the team jokester, Blazer the hot-headed warrior, Sentinel the stalwart, no-nonsense guardian, and Sota the brains of the team. He's my favorite, by the way. And as far as villains go, Nazgar and 100 aren't all that bad, and had the show been picked up, maybe they could have held a place among the other noteworthy 80s cartoon villains. But that's probably just wishful thinking on my part. As for the animation, it's the standard style for toy-based action cartoons of the time, with nothing really noteworthy, but well done for a half-hour special, without the frequent recycling of animation cycles used in many productions to cut down costs. Overall, RoboForce The Revenge of Nazgar isn't exactly a hidden gem, but it's still pretty okay nonetheless. If you're interested in watching the special, it was released by Warner Archive as a special feature for the Volume 2 DVD release of Challenge of the GoBots on March 10, 2015. But if you don't wish to spend the money just to watch it, it is available for free on YouTube. As for me, I'm giving this special... You know what, I'm just going to be generous and give it 3.5 stars out of 5.
Well, that's all for now. Be sure to join me again for my next review, which I promise won't take another 8 months to get made. See the movies! Anime movies, that is.
Max Steel? Isn't that the Cyborg Secret Agent toy line by Mattel from the 2000s? I made that take very excited because I actually like Max Steel. You remember that? I love that show. It was awful, but I loved it.
Most things you love are awful.
I love you.
Stand by what I said.
You're such a dick to yourself.
I hate
And to me a little bit.
Just a little bit.